surge in overdoses putting strain on first responders, what Saskatoon firefighters want the province to do. Layoff aftermath, why there are fears over the future at Sask Polytech. And the fate of a Saskatchewan school decided, will students be able to stay in class in Laird?
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. The union representing Saskatoon firefighters is urging the province to step up support for frontline workers. It says a surge in overdoses is straining resources. CTV's Stacey Hine now on what those on the front lines are seeing and what they're calling for.
Overdose calls are surging in Saskatoon, and for many, it's becoming all too common.
Constantly, sometimes 3, 4 at a time. It's getting out of hand.
It's heartbreaking, really. What if that's somebody's sister? What if that's somebody's brother?
The Saskatoon Fire Department says the number of overdose calls has dropped compared to this time last year. But it adds there has been an increase since the closure of Prairie Harm Reduction, and it has responded to 301 overdose calls this month, more than any of the previous 3 months. Jay Protz, president of the union representing Saskatoon firefighters, says the recent surge is straining resources.
When you start going to 16 overdoses in a 24-hour period, that just starts taking out resources away from some of the community.
He says crews will still respond, but calls may take longer to reach.
They will always answer the call. We just can't do it alone, right? So we need those extra resources now more than ever.
The union is calling on the province for more support, including more funding for frontline services and expanding access to mental health and addiction supports. Mental Health and Addictions Minister Lori Carr says the government is open to working with the union.
Well, I haven't heard directly from the union, but what I can say is we will work directly with them on maybe what supports need to be put in place, but I just really need to understand better what that looks like.
During question period, Carr also said the province continues to focus on a recovery-oriented system and that 500 additional treatment spaces are expected to be operational at the end of the fiscal year. Meanwhile, Protz says immediate action is needed, saying first responders can't keep up with this level of demand without more support. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A sad end to a search for a missing Alberta woman. 82-year-old Diane Cooper was found dead just after 7:30 Saturday night in the RM of Grandview near Kindersley. Cooper had been reported missing from Calgary on April 6th after leaving home with her dog. She had been sighted that evening in the Hoosier area of Saskatchewan. Diane Cooper's death is not considered suspicious. Her dog, Halo, was also found alive. 2 people from the LaLoche area have died following a crash Friday night. Emergency crews were called to the 2-vehicle collision on Highway 40 near Blaine Lake just after 11 p.m. 4 people were in one SUV. 2 passengers, a 27-year-old man and 28-year-old man, both died at the scene. A 3rd passenger was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The driver was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of a 2nd SUV was also taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There is no word on what contributed to the crash. Prince Albert police say the death of a man found following a house fire earlier this month is not suspicious. The body of 51-year-old Murray Shand was discovered as firefighters were battling a fire at a home on 18th Street East the morning of April 8th. Paramedics tried to revive him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Foul play is not suspected in his death. An investigation looking into an incident that saw an RCMP officer shoot a man in the arm has found no wrongdoing by police. The incident happened May 28th of last year. RCMP say it began when officers located a vehicle associated with recent gun-related incidents on the James Smith Cree Nation. The vehicle took off when officers tried to pull it over. Following a pursuit, the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team says the vehicle hit an embankment near Canwood. CERT says when the 32-year-old man driving the vehicle got out while holding a handgun, he didn't listen to police commands. An RCMP officer fired 2 rounds, striking him in the arm. He was arrested and taken to hospital. A woman who was a passenger who was injured in the crash was also treated for her injuries. CERT has concluded that the action of the officer was justified given the risk posed by the suspects. Some tense moments at the Canada Post Distribution Centre near the Sutherland neighbourhood earlier today. The Saskatoon Fire Department was called just after 8 o'clock this morning to the facility on 103rd Street East, where a white powder was found. One postal worker was exposed to the unknown substance, but did not show any symptoms of being sick. The product was eventually deemed to be non-hazardous, and operations at the Canada Post Centre resumed as normal. Staff at Saskatchewan's 4 Polytechnic campuses are wondering what the future holds after a year of layoffs. As Keenan Sorokon reports, there are similar concerns on campuses across the country.
Staff at the 4 Saskatchewan Polytechnic campuses aren't sure about the long-term sustainability since layoffs began last April.
The feeling around campus and the feeling of our membership is a sense of still uncertainty of what the future is going to hold.
Last week, another 30 layoff notices were announced. That brings the total number of people laid off since last April to 181. Sask Poly attributes the layoffs to budget constraints from significant challenges in the international education environment. It says a rebound in international enrollment is not expected next academic year. Downton says it's going to take a lot of work rebuilding trust as programs are moved or suspended, as well as the number of contract staff not re-signed and not reflected in the layoffs.
We didn't have to worry about funding the domestic students, but now that has been taken away, we don't have a suitable funding structure, and therefore we have $1 million deficits that we need to recover.
The layoffs were part of question period at the legislature Monday, where Minister Ken Cheveldayoff admitted this situation is playing out across the country after the federal government capped international enrollment.
It's a federal government decision that is affecting our country and our economy greatly. 21,271 layoffs across the country, some 1,700 programs across the country.
Sask Poly's latest annual report showed student tuition made up for more than 28% of revenue, while government grants accounted for nearly 67% of revenue last year. Salaries and benefits made up nearly 72% of Sask Poly's total operating expenses. And Cheveldayoff understands the decisions being made to reduce the funding shortfall.
Yes, they have to make some difficult decisions, but that's what competent management does.
Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Water Security Agency has issued an advisory for parts of the province given our recent snowfall. It says there's a risk for high flows from northwestern Saskatchewan near Buffalo Narrows down to the southeastern areas near Yorkton. The impacted communities include Lloydminster, Buffalo Narrows, La Ronge, Prince Albert, Melfort, and Tisdale. It says a quick melt of the new snowfall could cause river flows to increase quickly and reach higher levels than previously predicted. As a result, there could be some localized flooding and ice jamming. Those in affected areas are asked to use caution around bodies of water as conditions could change quickly. Jeff, we just can't shake that winter feeling.
No kidding. And as you said, we've got this situation where we have this dump of snow, and then, oh boy, the temperatures jump up fast, and that slow melt that we would appreciate isn't in play right now, at least not for the next couple of days. But then things will slow down as we make our way into Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and it goes on for a while, folks. I'm afraid to say it's going to be on the cold side of seasonal for a while. And in between the temperatures that we're talking about right now, we're dealing with a lot of moisture, and a lot of that moisture is going to be showing up in the form of snow. We'll talk about that later on.
The fate of Laird School was decided in Warman today as Hallie Mandrick reports declining attendance prompted a review by the school board.
After months of uncertainty, a review has determined that the Laird School will remain open with reduced capacity for the 2026-27 school year.
All in favor of that motion?
The decision was made at a meeting at the Prairie Spirit School Division headquarters in Warman. The kindergarten to grade 8 school will only go up to the 6th grade after the current school year. It follows protocol anytime a school drops below an enrollment of 51 students. The Prairie Spirit Board of Education began a review last September when Laird School had only 35 students enrolled.
So discussion was had leading up to today. This morning was very robust conversation on all of the possibilities, and it was the will of the board that Laird remain open.
The school is also in need of about $1 million in scheduled repairs over the next 8 years, which the province has approved funding for. The board chair cited the community response within Laird as a major factor in the decision to keep the school open.
We saw evidence of beautiful growth in the community, people who were engaged in coming out to give their opinion, and they brought their small children who weren't school age yet. And so that was just one of the pieces.
For students starting grades 7 and 8 in the fall, they'll be bused to Waldheim, which is roughly 15 kilometers from Laird. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Warman.
The provincial government is facing more pressure over staffing issues at Regina's Urgent Care Centre. The facility has been struggling to provide evening service on weekends, resulting in frequent service disruptions. Wayne Mantika explains.
The Regina Urgent Care Centre opened nearly 2 years ago, but has yet to achieve its operating target.
It struggles to stay open past 4 p.m., Mr. Speaker, worse than bank hours.
The NDP opposition says the Urgent Care Centre has reached a dubious milestone.
We learned that the Urgent Care Centre in Regina was forced to reduce its hours due to a lack of staffing for the 10th straight weekend. The 10th straight weekend.
The government continues to search for staff, but is satisfied with the alternatives for when the Urgent Care Centre is closed.
Initially, Mr. Speaker, the Regina Urgent Care Centre was announced as a 24/7 initiative, Mr. Speaker. But, again, reviewing the data, looking at what the system needs are, Mr. Speaker, it's a better use of resources to have those overnight staffing available at Regina General and Regina Pasqua, Mr. Speaker.
Currently, there is a bill before the legislature calling for online real-time information about rural emergency room service disruptions. That bill is expected to pass, but there could be need to include urgent care centre hours as well. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A quick correction to a story we brought you Friday when CTV News reported on a Court of Appeal hearing surrounding a challenge against SaskPower's continued use of fossil fuels. In our original coverage, CTV News incorrectly reported the appeal was linked to a similar but separate case about SaskPower's planned extension and refurbishment of coal power facilities, where an appeal is also being sought. No date has been set for that matter. The appeal heard Friday is in fact about SaskPower's larger use of fossil fuel-based power expansion, including natural gas, and whether the courts can set greenhouse gas reduction minimums. CTV News apologizes for this error. The Prince Albert Grand Council kicked off its 33rd annual Fine Arts Festival with opening ceremonies this afternoon. The Fine Arts Festival celebrates the artistic talents of youth from the Grand Council's member nations. Students compete and showcase their skills in visual arts, music, dance, drama, and cultural performance. The opening ceremonies at the Prince Albert Exhibition Centre featured a grand entry, delegate speeches, and powwow, as well as drumming exhibitions.
Being part of the arts is always important. Arts is a huge part of most communities. And I think arts, they also allow kids to be able to dream a little different, dream a little bigger.
The festival runs until Thursday. A boost today for Saskatchewan's Children's Hospital. Potash company Mosaic is donating $2 million to the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Foundation. The foundation says the contribution will help support specialized equipment, innovative research, and family-centered programs at the hospital itself and across the province. One of the areas includes Mosaic's Child Life program, which helps ease the fear, anxiety, and pain a hospital stay can bring through compassionate, holistic care. Well, whether they aim for the stars or the sound barrier, every Royal Canadian Air Force pilot who comes through 15 Wing Moose Jaw starts out on the same plane. Going forward, these pilots will begin their flight training on a new type of aircraft that can fly faster and higher. Mick Favel has more.
The CT-102B Astra II is making its runway debut at 15 Wing Moose Jaw. This plane is a step up from past training aircraft, going higher, faster, and filled with modern technology. The aircraft will be an important step for all future pilots, as it will be the first plane they will use.
There's more G, there's more systems. It also makes sure that people start learning how to operate more automation, more digitalization of the cockpit, whereas in the past it was more, I would describe as steam-driven, older technology.
The Astra II is a German-developed and designed plane. By the end of 2026, there will be 23 of them at 15 wing. There was a thorough decision-making process in choosing this specific plane, with a list of requirements asked from the Royal Canadian Air Force.
What we had to do was go out and look at what was available and what represented sort of a best value mix of meeting all the requirements and having flexibility to be able to continuously innovate the training.
The Astra II plane will be used in the Future Aircraft Training Program, which is now in development. It is nearly set to train Canadian Air Force pilots for the next 25 years.
There's a number of aspects. We need to bring that together in a coherent manner in order to ensure that when we put young aviators on board, that the system is in place to support them and that we have confidence that the plan as it's been developed is going to meet our needs.
The capable speed and height the Astra II can reach will help trainees develop faster and get them ready for more sophisticated planes and jets. With the new program on the way, pilots will have the hardware training needed for the future.
All the new fleets we're buying right now, if you look at all of them, they're all glass cockpit. They're all state-of-the-art automation, high-performance aircraft. And so training them earlier ensures success later on.
Mick Fable, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
Still to come, the latest from the Middle East and a timeline on the ceasefire. Also, why Alberta feels it's time for change. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. To the latest in the Middle East now, President Trump says the ceasefire with Iran will end Wednesday evening, adding that it's, quote, highly unlikely that he will extend it further if a deal is not reached before then. Speaking to Bloomberg News, Trump said he's not going to be rushed into a bad deal and won't open the Strait of Hormuz until an agreement is reached. While Iran's foreign minister says America's illegal behavior and contradictory positions are incompatible with diplomacy. The two-week ceasefire began on the evening of April 7th and was originally slated to last 2 weeks. Vice President J.D. Vance and top U.S. officials are expected to depart for Islamabad tomorrow ahead of a potential second round of talks with Iran. Iran's foreign minister insisted today there were no plans for talks after the U.S. seized an Iranian cargo ship yesterday. High oil and gas prices fueled by the uncertainty about the war with Iran are all behind the latest jump in inflation in Canada. Last month, the rate rose to 2.4%, with the cost of fresh vegetables also spiking. It also comes as motorists got some relief today from the pain at the pumps. CTV's John Venavelli-Rao breaks down the numbers for us.
At gas stations across the country, prices came down this morning.
Cheaper gas. It's good for us.
As the federal government's pause kicked in, removing its excise tax on gas and diesel.
So today is a 10 cents lower. Hope it's continued to decrease more prices.
They realize everybody's suffering quite a bit, and I think it's a great thing.
In Toronto, at some stations, the price fell below $1.60. This as the latest inflation data reflected the recent surge caused by the war in Iran. In March, gas was up 21%. Statistics Canada's biggest monthly jump on record, and it helped to drive up overall inflation to 2.4% in March, though that was still below what economists had forecast.
So everyone knew that we were going to see a big jump in the numbers for gasoline. We saw it at the pumps, and now it's showing up in the StatCan data.
At the grocery store, food prices also rose, up 4.4% on an annualized basis, while notably fresh vegetables were up almost 8% compared to last March, their biggest increase in more than 2.5 years.
Everything has gone up in price. I mean, absolutely everything.
You just have to be a lot more selective. Like, you have to plan a lot more in regards to what you want to buy.
StatsCan mentioning cucumbers, peppers, and celery, saying they were up notably because of production challenges in some supplying countries.
It'll affect every household, but lower income households, a bigger proportion of their total budget goes towards food. So this is particularly harmful.
Prices for food in restaurants grew at a slower pace, up 3.2% in March. Meanwhile, with the cost of transporting goods still more expensive, many economists say the ripple effects from that will be felt for months to come. John Venavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
A Canadian woman has been fatally shot in Mexico. 6 other people were injured. It happened when a man opened fire at the site of historic pyramids an hour north of the capital today. 4 people were wounded by gunshots and 2 others were injured from falls. They are Canadian, Colombian, and Russian tourists. The gunman died from a self-inflicted wound. Mexico's president says the shooting will be investigated and that she has communicated with the Canadian embassy. Canada Post workers started voting today on a 5-year contract. The 55,000 employees represented by the Canadian Union of Postal Workers can vote until May 30th on whether to ratify an agreement with the Crown Corporation. Canada Post and the union have sparred over wages and structural changes to the postal service for more than 2 years, and workers have taken to the picket lines multiple times. Both sides have agreed not to engage in any strike or lockout activity while the ratification vote takes place. Alberta is going to follow the lead of BC and scrap the twice-a-year time change. Premier Danielle Smith revealed the change is expected to be made formally when legislation is introduced later this week. That means Albertans would stay on the current time and no longer adjust their clocks back an hour in the fall. It means there will be less daylight for Albertans in the mornings during the winter, but more light later in the day. BC made the same change earlier this year. Golfers can officially start brushing up on their skills at city golf courses starting tomorrow. The driving ranges at Silverwood and Holiday Park golf courses are set to open. The ranges will be open from 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., closed on Saturday and Sunday before reopening Monday morning. The city says hours of operation are weather dependent and conditions may require early closure, delayed opening, or temporary pauses. Opening dates for all city golf courses will be announced soon. For updates to range hours, contact Holiday Park or Silverwood directly. And yes, the key phrase there, weather dependent, Jeff.
No kidding.
Help us out.
So that's starting tomorrow? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, enjoy tomorrow, golfers, because it ain't going to be golf weather starting on Wednesday. So let's move on. We'll take a look at our numbers, and then we'll talk about the forecast later on. So right now, 18 degrees in Saskatoon and the Battlefords, 10 degrees in Prince Albert. So kind of contrasting temperatures there, that's for sure. And a little breezier in Saskatoon and the Battlefords than it is in the Gateway City. Quick look at Saskatoon's Almanac, 19 degrees for a daytime high, so 7 degrees above seasonal. Tomorrow's going to be above seasonal as well. Unlikely that will break any records. Today's record, 30 degrees, that was not in jeopardy. Minus 19, the cold temperature record from that cold year, 1893. And the sun came up before 6 a.m., and it's going to go down at 8:13.
Coming up, building art brick by brick, how the community is invited to help Saskatoon's new library write a new chapter.
The Saskatchewan NDP want to increase net metering. Tuesday on Your Morning, what net metering is and how the party thinks it could benefit you to increase it.
Okay, let's take a look at our big blue sky. It's been a glorious day across much of the province. The temperatures well into the teens. And so, yes, a snow melter to go along with some of the melty days we had over the weekend. And tomorrow's going to be another melty one. And in some places, that won't be as welcome because it's going to be a quick melt. So let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. Yeah, really quiet conditions across the prairies. There's a big ridge in place right now. And a lot of that warm air coming up from the US of A. And then we have a change coming later in the week, and we'll talk about that more in detail. Let's recap our temperatures. It's 18 degrees in Saskatoon and the Battlefords, 10 in Prince Albert. Our hot spot today, that was Maple Creek at 22 big degrees. Uranium City, a chilly -6. Not super cold, but chilly nonetheless. Around the province we go, starting off with the larger communities, 19 degrees in Lloydminster, 20 in Swift Current, 18 in Moose Jaw, 16 in Regina and Estevan, but a cooler 9 degrees, still on the plus side, though below seasonal for Yorkton. In central parts of the province, Melfort at 4 degrees. I wonder if that's a typo. I'm going to double check on that, but we've got ourselves a lot of places in the high to mid, well, actually from the low teens to the high teens. Just 10 degrees right now in Hudson Bay, Wynyard at 11, and 12 degrees in Waskesiu and Meadow Lake and Spiritwood. Up north, -1 in Stony Rapids, -3 in Collins Bay, 2 in Key Lake, 3 in South End, 8 in Buffalo Narrows, 7 in La Ronge, and 6 in Sandy Bay Island Falls. Down south, 23 degrees, so that's the new high. Today's still the hot spot, but 23 degrees in Maple Creek. Creek, 19 in East End and Coronach, and then we've got a number of places. Oh, so is Outlook at Elbow. It does cool off, though, to 9 degrees in Melville, 12 in Broadview, 16 in Carlisle and Weyburn and Last Mountain Regional Park. Now our futurecast. So not a lot to report here. A couple of disturbances sliding through the province. The possibility of some showers are there, but it is it's scattered in nature, and the chances of it being significant are low. And there's a bit more in the way of snow making its way through the far north, and we'll keep our eye on that. But as you can see, those pressure lines are pretty far apart, so not really much of a wind tomorrow. 11 degrees for La Ronge, 1 in Stony Rapids with some of those flurries, 9 in Buffalo Narrows, 5 in Key Lake, 17 degrees for a high in Meadow Lake, 19 in Spiritwood, Kindersley and Rosetown in and around that 23-degree mark. Temperatures around the 25-degree mark for the southwest with sunny or mainly sunny skies. Lots of sunshine in Regina and Moose Jaw. Temperatures of 24 in the Queen City, 25 in Moose Jaw, 26 in Estevan, just 18 in Yorkton, but that's still nicely above seasonal. 17 in Humboldt and Hudson Bay, 21 in Watrous, 15 in Melfort. On to the Battlefords, dropping down to 3 degrees tonight. A slight chance of showers. Some fog patches could show up. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow, and big-time temperatures, 21 degrees, but it cools off to below seasonal temperatures on Wednesday when the rain starts showing up. Then rain-snow mix for Thursday, and we're expecting snow on Friday and Saturday when all is said and done. The Battlefords could see 15 to 20 millimeters of rain and maybe 5 centimeters of snow. For Prince Albert, 60% chance of showers with some fog patches. 1 degree overnight, 17 degrees tomorrow, and then things start to cool off. And as we get into the snowy situation, Prince Albert could see up to, when everything is said and done, by the time we get to Saturday, up to 20 centimeters of snow. We'll see how much of it sticks around, but those are cold daytime highs that you saw there. 30% chance of showers rather for Saskatoon tonight, dropping down to 4 degrees. 23 degrees tomorrow, so way above seasonal. And then the 7-day outlook. Well, things are looking good on Wednesday, although it's going to be windy on Wednesday. But then we get into the snow and the possibility of some rain even. But 1 degree on Thursday, -4 on Friday, -3 on Saturday. Sunday, it's cloudy and -1. And 1 week from today, only 3 degrees on the plus side.
There's a huge universe out there.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie leveled up once again at the weekend box office, leading the way in ticket sales for a 3rd straight weekend, adding another $35 million U.S. across North America. Project Hail Mary, starring Canadian Ryan Gosling, remains in orbit in 2nd place with another $20.5 million, and Lee Cronin's The Mummy spooked its way into 3rd with $13.5 million in its debut. Eddie Murphy was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award by the American Film Institute. The weekend ceremony was star-studded with Spike Lee, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Mike Myers, and Jennifer Hudson all showing up in support. Murphy received a standing ovation as he accepted the award. The 64-year-old started as a stand-up comedy sensation as a teenager, which landed him on Saturday Night Live for 4 years. He quickly became a box office superstar with movies like Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, The Nutty Professor, and, of course, the Shrek franchise. The royal family has chosen an author for the official biography of the late Queen Elizabeth II. The task will be going to historian Anna Kay, best known for her work on Britain's Republican period when Oliver Cromwell was in charge. Queen Elizabeth II died in September of 2022 after more than 70 years on the throne. British media outlets are reporting King Charles III specifically wanted a woman to write the definitive account of his mother's life.
All right, Jeff, Saskatoon is getting ready for an annual art show.
And we had a chance to get a sneak peek. It is time for the Artists Workshop annual show and sale. And this year, the theme is called Passages. Pat Katz is with us today. So, Pat, what do we mean by passages?
Well, I made some notes because I knew you were going to ask me and I wouldn't be able to remember all of them. But we first thought about, the way we move our eyes through a painting. Okay. The way color and light moves through. But then we thought, well, there's other things that you can think about when you think about passages. So life's transitions, growing up, maturing, seasons change. We've got roads that are traveled or not traveled, or doors that are opened or not opened, and surprises that occur, and losses and arrivals in our lives. So lots of things to think about there.
It's multi-layered, and of course a wide variety of art that will be on display here at Grace Westminster United Church. And What are the days?
It is this coming weekend, so it's the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th of April, and the times are right here. Okay. 5 to 9 on Friday evening, 10 to 5 on Saturday, and 11 to 4 on Sunday.
Does it cost anything to come in and take a look?
No, just your interest and your time. We're just happy to have you here, and we're happy to welcome you. We've got 12 artists that are painting and working in different mediums this year.
And just before we go, is there a website to go to?
Artistworkshop.ca, or you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Artist Workshop.
All right, once again, Artist Workshop Passages, their annual show coming up here at Grace Westminster United Church this weekend.
All right, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day, and you've got a bonus photo.
I do indeed. We usually have 3, but today we have 4. It's a quattro. It's a quartet. We're going to start off this one from Charlotte. Went for our last ride of the season on Sled Lake. Time to bring out our summer toys. This next one comes to us from Jim, I believe. Yeah, there you go. Jim tells us the Tammans and the Western Canada Montreal Canadiens fan club members are ready. Go Habs, go Yahoo! Jim, by the way, is the president of the club, and he sent this in, I think, on Sunday before the game started. That was a big overtime win over Tampa Bay. The next one comes to us from, this comes from Lloyd. These robins in our backyard are not loving it. They are all fluffed up to keep warm. They came in for the water for the bird bath, but it was frozen, so I poured some hottish water on top of the ice, and it allowed them to enjoy the bird bath. Good for you, Lloyd. And finally, this comes to us from Joyce, and this is in the rural Prince Albert area, and Joyce says, Jeff, we have company. Yeah, you got a lot of company there, and I'm sure the birds are happy to have somebody stealing their food. There you go. You got to eat when you can. If you'd like to send us an image, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, and please put Pick of the Day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, building a legacy for the downtown library. The community artwork being unveiled brick by brick. Saskatoon book lovers are putting the pieces together to create a piece of art for the city's new library. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
As the construction of Saskatoon's new downtown library remains underway, it's not the only thing being pieced together.
It's a lot of moving parts coming together. There is 7,000 pieces that the community is building. There's over 256,000 pieces altogether of Lego that make up this mosaic.
Intended to be installed on the main floor of the city's new library, Where We Grow is going to be Saskatoon's largest Lego mosaic, featuring various plants native to Saskatchewan and created by members of the public.
I knew that people loved Lego. I did not know people loved Lego this much. It's been amazing to see all the families coming, all different ages. It is such a universal thing. I think it just speaks to creativity and people wanting to be part of something.
The creation of a 16-foot tall Lego mural requires a lot of planning. Lego certified professional Robin Sather translated the design into a Lego pattern, which is broken down into smaller squares for members of the public to piece together, similar to a paint by numbers.
It'll look very photorealistic, and we've got people building panels, little tiny panels here that have up to 20 colors on them. So they're very complicated little panels, but everyone is doing so well, almost no errors. It's fantastic.
After putting together their squares, folks hand them back to library staff who ensure the bricks are in all the right places before piecing the squares onto larger Lego sheets, which will eventually make up the mosaic.
You've got grandkids, you've got parents, and you've got the grandparents, and they're all building a panel, and they're all enjoying it together, and they're not just doing it to have something for the kids to do, they're all enjoying it, and they know they're participating in a great project, and it brings great joy.
Public library branches across Saskatoon will be hosting drop-in sessions for the next 3 months, where folks can stop by and help build the massive project one piece at a time. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
When we come back, what's next for the rush? And later, a forecast that's truly felt in Saskatoon.
All right, let's take a look and see what we've got going on for tomorrow. Tomorrow is pretty nice. We've got ourselves temperatures in the high teens or mid to high teens and low 20s. Look at that, 24 for Outlook, 15 for Melfort, 17 for Hudson Bay and Wynyard. And then as we make our way down south, even warmer. Well, Kenora, 14 degrees. But other than that, everybody else is in the 20s and 27 for Coronach, 26 for Maple Creek and Rockland and Assiniboia. So some very warm temperatures out there. Lots of sunshine. It is going to be a melty Tuesday, and that includes Bruno. Bruno is going to be at 21 degrees tomorrow with partly cloudy skies. And the wind's not such a big deal at all out of the northwest 10, bumping up to about 15 kilometer-an-hour winds in the mid-afternoon. So all in all, very warm day in Bruno. And Bruno is one of the communities where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
After losing 5 of their last 6 heading into the final regular season game, the Saskatchewan Rush had the chance to clinch a home playoff game on Saturday night.
One more Keenan, swims on Holstrauser. Haley scores! Brock Haley's your hero!
Brock Haley's second of the night was the most important goal for the season for Saskatchewan, winning 10-9 in overtime at home. The Rush trailed after every quarter, but tied the game in the final minute. The overtime win gives the Rush a 12-6 record, good enough for third place in the standings and a home playoff game. They'll host the Toronto Rock on Saturday night at SaskTel Centre. The list of inductees for the 2026 Saskatchewan Roughriders Plaza of Honor has been released. Rob Bagg, Dan Clark, and Paul McCallum collectively spent more than 3 decades playing for the team. It's the second straight all-Canadian class. The trio will be enshrined into the plaza on October 17th. People gathered outside the Saskatchewan legislature over the weekend to protest the new AI data center for southern Saskatchewan. Organizers of the protest say there's been a lack of transparency from the RM of Sherwood, where the facility is planned south of Regina, and Bell Canada, the parent company of CTV News. Protesters say noise and pollution are their major concerns for the centre.
Transparency is a huge issue that we have. There's a lot of information that is not being said that we want to hear more of. People are being left out of this decision. The public is being left out of this decision. Why are we supporting such a harmful tool? What is the end goal here? Whose pockets are being filled? What impact is this going to have on our environment?
The project is expected to support more than 800 jobs during construction, with 80 full-time positions being created once the campus is up and running. Construction is scheduled to start this spring. A key meeting is scheduled for the RM of Sherwood this evening. Canadian Western Agribition set a new record. The annual show reported this year's economic impact surpassed $151 million during last fall's show. That's a 30% increase from 2023. Agribition also reported record attendance in 2025, with more than 151,000 people coming through the gates over the 6 days. The full finances will be presented at the organization's AGM in June. As we heard earlier, the annual rate of inflation ticked up last month, with the Strait of Hormuz closure impacting prices here at home. Lindsay Biscaya has more.
The annual rate of inflation accelerated 2.4% in March, up more than half a percentage point from February. StatsCan says the war in Iran sent fuel costs soaring 21.2%, the largest on record. The agency says if gasoline were taken out of the equation, inflation would have dropped to 2.2%. Food prices also remained elevated, with grocery costs up 4.4% from a year ago. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.29. West Texas Intermediate climbed to 87.42. Western Canadian Select is down more than $7 to end the day. And the TSX closed the day higher, above 34,000 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon currently just over $1.65 a litre. The lowest price in town has dropped to $1.49.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco jumped $3.47 and Nutrien finished the day at $97.15. Coming up, what had local youth being put through the paces? Then how we've weathered so many storms over the years, a piece of the past.
Hey there, it's Derek Chesney here at the Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. This week on Crime Stoppers Unmasked, we're asking for the public's help in identifying 2 suspects involved in a robbery in the 3000 block of Clarence Avenue South. On March 31st, at approximately 4:40 in the afternoon, the suspects left the store with numerous bags of bedding that was not paid for. One of the females brandished a can of bear spray as they exited. Suspect 1 is described as an Aboriginal female in her mid-30s, 5'5" with a stocky build, brown hair. She had neck tattoos on both sides of the neck, and she was wearing aviator sunglasses and a light blue 22 Fresh hoodie. Suspect 2 was also an Aboriginal female in her late 30s with a rough complexion, 5'11", medium build, long brown hair, wearing a black jacket, blue jeans, and brown shoes. Do you have information about this crime or who these bear spray bedding bandits are? If so, please give us a call at 1-800-222-8477, or you can leave a tip online at SaskatoonCrimeStoppers.com. We pay cash rewards of up to $2,000 for information that leads to an arrest. Tips are completely anonymous. We don't want your name, we just want your assistance. Saskatoon Crime Stoppers, do your part to stop crime in our community.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. Well, Saskatoon youth basketball players have another team to try out for if they're looking to improve their skills on and off the court. The Soldiers Basketball Academy is nearing the end of its first year in existence. Since October, the academy has been running early morning practices, evening strength training, and off-court learning sessions with the goal of getting the athletes ready for higher levels of the sport. They've competed in tournaments in Vancouver and Calgary, and they're headed to Edmonton and Las Vegas later this year. This weekend, the academy will play in the Saskatoon Slam Prairie season opener tournament. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you know, up early and getting some exercise.
That's absolutely great idea. Well, a new exhibit at the Ramey Modern Art Gallery aims to take people by storm. It is called Forecast, and it features 100 pieces created across different mediums and time periods, intended to highlight the relationships between people, their environment, and the changing climate. A piece of CTV history is also included, a replica of the interactive weatherboard used by the legendary Greg Barnsley during his time with CFQC.
If you come down to Forecast, we have things that have never once been on display, even if they've been in our exhibit for years. I believe the one I'm thinking about has been in our collection since 1960s. And so even if you've been to Ramey Modern before, or even to the Mendel Gallery, there will be artwork here that you have never seen before. And so I would definitely say it's worth coming just to take a look.
Forecast will be on display until January at the Ramey. The cost of getting in is a donation of your choice. So lots of time, and the weatherboard definitely worth checking.
It looks great, and for people who don't know, it's felt and static electricity. So you throw little felts up there, and I believe you can make your own felt disc.
Throw it on the board?
Try and throw it up there on the board.
So I would choose all sunshine.
You
No
would.
snow.
You would. Well, a lot of people would, but it doesn't look as though Mother Nature's really going to cooperate in that regard. Yes.
Will anything stick to your green board over there?
No, not that green board. And if it does stick, I get in trouble. It's like you ruined the green board. Anyhow, we've got ourselves some decent temperatures tomorrow. Warm. It's going to be quite a warm, melty day. Look at that. 21 degrees by 5 o'clock. 22 or 23 degrees in the mid-afternoon. But after that, then there's a transition day, Chantel.
Yeah.
I know you love those transition days. And so then we've got ourselves a messy midweek. There will be rain, snow mix. And it's not just going to be a couple of places. It's going to be a widespread.
It's going to be super fun.
It is.
Yeah, love it. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.